2 rounds left. We're going to the 11th right now.
If Margarito is smart, he lands a left hook to the body because Cotto's protecting the head, and then he brings that right hand down, and he can finish him with a left hook up top.
Cotto trying to counter. Boy, this is one of those grinder fights, isn't it, guys?
You know, never a backward step here, never a round off.
No.
Cotto's right eye underneath the eye.
Good combination to the head for Cotto. Hadn't seen that in a while, but here comes Margarito like, so what?
Cotto still had to rely on Margarito to make an opening for him to drill him.
You mentioned, Dave, it's time for the great ones to dig down. If Cotto's going to keep that undefeated record intact and become a legend, this is the moment.
And every time he tries to dig down, and he is trying, Margarito steps it up a level.
And when he puts his butt on the second rope, that's when Margarito tees off.
Cotto in defensive position. Blood all over the gloves. Down goes Cotto. Down goes Cotto from just the wear and tear of the constant pressure. Blood streaming from his face.
Incredible action here at the MGM Grand. Antonio Margarito close to making his dream come true.
Cotto's wobbly. Cotto is wobbly. Margarito finishing. Yes, Cotto's going down. Cotto, just his only thing keeping him up now is his heart.
And Kenny Bayless could have called that a knockdown because he was basically saying, I'm done, I'm done.
There, he may do it now.
He may do it now. Cotto's in big trouble. They're going to wave it off. His uncle had seen enough. Cotto's corner waves it off. The underdog prevails.
3-1.
Here's one for all you grinders out there.
And how about this? You know what the over-under was? 10.5 rounds.
You didn't tell me that before.
30 seconds away from being exact. They know how to put the odds here.
That's how they make the money. What an incredible fight. You cannot take a thing away from Antonio Margarito for a straight, just a pure fighter. Just a pure fighting standpoint.
In the 11th round, 24-6 advantage for Margarito and 21 on the power shots. So those numbers, when you see about a 4-1 edge in the power shots, it's over practically, and it's amazing.
It turned from that uppercut, I believe, in the 8th round, wasn't it? When it just, that was it for Cotto, and from then on, he couldn't get off first.
Then from the 8th round, that was big. The 7th round, he hurt him too. But how many times can you look at a fight and say there was no dull time? There was no off moment. It was a sprint for 10.5 rounds, even more.
Most of the prognosticators in the media that I spoke to were overwhelmingly thinking Cotto was going to win this fight. But most of the fighters I talked to, interestingly, Dave, coming in, thought Margarito would win the fight.
And here he comes again. That's the knockdown there after Cotto takes the knee. And he was an underdog against Cintron, too, in the rematch. And the boxing people were shaking their heads. And Kenny Bayless comes in after the second time and puts a halt to the proceedings. And Cotto had nothing left to give. Margarito had plenty more to give him.
Wow. I can't say enough good things about this guy, 30 years old, and nobody wanted to tangle with this guy.
What conditioning. He left no opportunity. And halfway through this fight, Cotto was doing what he wanted. Cotto probably took 4 of the first 5 rounds. And then maybe got one more, and maybe not.
That's why I made the comment. I don't think 2 rounds. If he'd won the last 2 rounds, I think he was behind. And look at the cheers from the pro-Mexican crowd here. It's just I cannot remember, Dave, a faster 11 rounds.
Absolutely. I can't either.
I can't.
Unbelievable conditioning.
Michael Buffer now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at 2 minutes, 5 seconds. Round number 11, the winner by TKO victory. Now a 3-time welterweight champion of the world, the Tijuana Tornado, Antonio Margarito.
How about that?
Julio Cesar Chavez.